Coming up on Hoge Jahns, we are live after another Bears victory. Getting used to this on Monday mornings. The Bears are 6-3. Big game from Caleb Williams. We are here to break it all down for you live on YouTube. Hoge Jahns starts right now. What's up? Welcome in, Hoge and Jahns with you. Chicago Bears 6-3 now, Johnsy.
They're more than in the hunt.
Yeah, they're in the playoffs right now.
If it started tomorrow, I was looking at the playoff simulator provided by The Athletic, and right now they have the Bears finishing at 9-8, right behind the San Francisco 49ers. So that game after Christmas in the Bay Area is going to be something. It should be something big. It should have a lot of meaning to it when it comes to the playoffs.
What do they base that off of?
I don't know. Some algorithm. Just have to trust it.
Algorithm.
But they had them last week finishing 8-9. With this Giants win, the algorithm is starting to like the Chicago Bears a little bit.
So did they think they were going to lose to the Giants?
Who knows?
I don't know. I mean,
it looked like it for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean their win probability was as low as 5% in that game yesterday, and they managed to somehow pull it out with Caleb Williams playing pretty well. I mean, even when they were losing,
corrected your grammar there.
I did. I was about to say good.
He did play pretty good. Pretty well.
Supposed to speak.
Pretty good sounds better. He played good. He had a great game. He had a great fourth quarter.
I mean, but even I'm just getting through the tape in the first half. If he could clone himself and catch his own passes, I'm sure he would do it. But that wasn't. That's not how that works. So
No.
he. And I think you can quibble with the ball placement a little bit on some of those throws, but I mean,
you know the
rule,
rule.
help him out.
If it hits you in the hands, catch the ball. All receivers, coaches at every single level will tell their players that if it hits you in the hands, you catch the ball.
So the only one of those, so he basically had two laser beams to the. It wasn't quite the back corner, but side of the end zone on the right side. One to DJ Moore and one to Olamide Zaccheaus. Neither one was caught. I thought the one to OZ definitely should have been caught. I think the
100%.
one to DJ Moore was a little bit tougher. The one play I've highlighted right now, though, is I'd like to hear Ben Johnson's thoughts today on the first one to DJ Moore. That again, I think DJ Moore could help him out. It would have been a nice catch. Would have been a nice touchdown on that first drive. That was on 4th down, 4th and 4. Luther Burden was wide open underneath.
Yeah,
for an easy first down. So that's a tough one to. I would just like to hear what the head coach has to say about it, because on one hand, probably should have had a touchdown anyway. On the other, Luther Burden's guy fell down. He would have been still like a gain of 15, 16, 17 yards.
First down.
Easy first down, keep the chains moving. So I don't know. I don't know how to grade that one, honestly.
That was an absolute rocket. The accuracy I love on that play. But like the degree of difficulty in DJ Moore's situation, forget the conditions. Like to get your feet in, because that ball went right over a defender. You're right there. Your entire momentum is taking you out of bounds. Like the degree of difficulty in that one is, it's difficult. So I'm willing to give the two a pass on that one, but the Zaccheaus one, that has to be a catch. The The Zacchaeus ones later, those have to be catches. The one over the middle, I think it was late third quarter, early fourth quarter, like that has to be a catch. I mean, it's a chunk yardage play. And I don't think, like, immediately after that, I think you saw more of Luther Burden. I like some of the accountability in the moment. I'm not sure if it was a matter of different play calls, but Zacchaeus was struggling yesterday. Like, he had to be removed in those big game situations, and Luther Burden playing more later in the game, I think, was part of that.
Have you seen the snap counts yet this morning?
Yep. I got them right here.
Okay. Damn, then I can't ask you the question. I was going to ask you to guess what percentage of snaps you thought Luther Burden played.
I don't think it's a lot. Hold on.
Well, then guess before you look.
Oh, I got it. No, half.
49%, which is more than he has been playing. And Zacchaeus was down to 57%. I don't know how much of that. I'd have to go back and analyze the personnel a little bit more in the second half when OZ was struggling. It seemed just as much a concerted effort from the start of the game, though. I mean, Burden was out there early.
He was.
They hit him. The second throw he threw to him. 2nd and 1. Second play of the game. Caleb Williams. Short middle to Luther Burden. Picked up 15 yards. So they got him more involved, which I thought was it was time. I wanted to see that this week, and they did. So it's nice to be covering a team, Johns, and just keep coming back to this, going back to the offseason. It's like the year of common sense for the Chicago Bears. They're doing things that make sense, even on a week-to-week basis now that we're in the season.
Like getting Colson Loveland going, getting the ball to Roma Dunze. We can joke about it later. Getting the ball to Luther Burden in crunch time situations, knowing he's got that big playmaking ability inside him. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
Other thoughts on? Well, here, let me do this. First of all, welcome into the show, and we're always here live with you on Monday mornings. Bears get another win, 6-3. We'll talk a little bit more about what it all means. Johnsy has a promo code for you to use if you'd like to sign up, become a CHGO diehard. Johnsy, why don't you tell everybody what they can get?
Use code Johns for this $36 diehard offer. Unlock premium coverage, including my column today and all CHGO. Here's the headline: Ice in his veins. The Bears won because of Caleb Williams, not just with them. Patrick Norton, our friend, he has a story coming up later today, and CJ Gardner-Johnson, and there's just a lot of stuff there. It's more than just the written word. It's different access to our merchandise, different access to our tailgates and whatnot. So great deal. Code Johns.
Yep. Code Johns, JAHNS, and you can also get our insider analysis column coming out Wednesday morning. John says his takeaways, his notebooks, everything's there for you, plus 20% off all merch. All right. So explain a little bit more. The Bears win because of Caleb Williams.
Well, I thought he was having a good game. You factor in the drops, you factor in the rush that the Giants were generating, and he looked like he was having a gutsy, tough performance where he was trying to rise above, the conditions, the failures of his teammates, the protection that was failing at times, just a lot of different factors that weren't working in the Bears' favor. And then he delivered a special fourth quarter, like the stuff that we've been wanting to see. Bears are down 10 points, fourth quarter. Bears win by 4 because of Caleb Williams. It's that scramble. It's the 27-yard completion to Luther Burden. It's scrambling and hitting Colson Loveland over the middle. It's scrambling for another touchdown behind Cole Kmet in a play-action play. Like, those are special. Like the one to Luther Burden, maybe not a special play, but the timing is great. Colson Loveland, we've seen him do that throughout, really from USC to here. Like, he makes those types of plays. But to rise to the moment when his team needed him the most and look like and play like the best player on the field, that's why the Bears won, because of Caleb Williams, not just with him. It wasn't Ben Johnson's offense. It wasn't his play calls. It was Caleb Williams
being special when he needed to be special. And Ben even said that Caleb bailed him out a few times, and made some wrong calls be right, which you want to have that back and forth with your quarterback. I think we should also point out the Bears' pre-snap penalties were not really an issue. Only 3 penalties in the game total. That was a good positive sign. And then I also thought that his accuracy was just as good as we've seen it all season in the toughest conditions he's played in all season. You were inside the stadium, but it was very, very windy on the lakefront yesterday. And his receivers seem to be struggling with the conditions, but if you're just watching on TV and you don't really have a feel for the wind, you wouldn't have thought that it was bothering Caleb Williams at all. Well, here's the other thing. Like, Jackson Dart was outplaying Caleb Williams statistically. Like, because of those drops, Jackson Dart's numbers look better. His run game was a threat. The Bears had trouble stopping it. So he had a rookie quarterback who had better numbers and who had his team in position to win. Obviously, losing Dart factors into how this outcome played out. But at the same time, the Giants still had a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter, and it was Caleb Williams who rose above everything we just said in that moment. The drops, the conditions, the pressure he may have been feeling. I'm willing to bet, when we look through the film, more closely when Ben Johnson's going through the film, there's probably some completions, maybe some checkdowns that they can get to quicker, but that's fine. If he felt the pressure, and he evaded the pressure in the way he did, that is such a frustrating feeling for the Giants, where you have free runners coming at Caleb Williams, and he's able to evade them and turn that into positive plays for the Bears, chunk plays for the Bears. That's immensely frustrating for a defense. It's disheartening. The sack rate is low because he's getting better. He's recognizing things. But the sack rate was low against the Giants because he was a special player in the backfield, and he was able to evade everything the Giants were throwing at him. So I think we're seeing progress here without a doubt, and you feel really, really good about this win against what on paper we talked about was a tough front, and I think that they proved in that game to be a tough front. I mean, he was under pressure as much as he's been all season. Now come the Minnesota Vikings, and I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves this week, and certainly you want to celebrate this win and celebrate what Caleb did. But the point of me bringing this up now is a familiar foe, Brian Flores, this defense that's caused some trouble. You were not able to get the win in week 1. This feels like a proper next test with this progression that we've seen from Caleb Williams, this improvement we've seen from Caleb Williams, to now you go on the road in a tough environment. However, one that I think will honestly help this offense get back on the turf with no wind, no cold. I think those receivers probably catch that ball if they're playing those balls yesterday if they're playing indoors. So we'll see what it looks like this coming week. I'm excited. I feel like this is a kind of a perfect week to have to play Brian Flores and the Vikings again. Well, the Bears are also a different team since week 1. They have a run game that's functioning. Ben Johnson has 9 weeks of tape to build a game plan out of. I like the idea of this being not only something notable for Caleb Williams and his progress, but also with his pairing with Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson's progress as a play caller and as head coach. This is his first rematch with him as a head coach. This is his first time, round 2 with Kevin O'Connell, and I think with Brian Flores. And I think it's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be fun to cover. But with all that information, with how much better this run game is working, how much better Caleb is playing, I wouldn't be surprised. What's the early line on this? I wouldn't be surprised if it eventually reaches a 1.5 pick 'em. What would you guess the line is right now? Right now, as we turn it into the Bill Simmons podcast on a Monday morning, I would say Vikings by 2.5. I'm just gonna double check it. It was 2.5 last night when I got the email. Going to next Sunday, it is Vikings 2.5.
Okay.
All right, so you get that one. I'm just kidding. People know what I'm talking about. That to me is like basically this is a pick 'em when you think about Vikings at home. They don't really know what to do with this one. You bring up the rushing game though, and I think it's a great point. We have all week to break this down. I'm definitely getting ahead of ourselves. But since you just brought this up, I will bring it up. DeAndre Swift 17 carries for 53 yards in week 1 against the Vikings, 3.1 yards per carry. The only other player to get a carry out of the backfield, DJ Moore. No Kyle Monangai. And Caleb picked up 58 yards on the ground. He also had that rushing touchdown in that game. So, to your point, this offense is very different now that it has a running game. On the other hand, Vikings also deserve credit for what they did in that game to stop the Bears rushing game. So, and they've been playing pretty well the last 2 weeks. I mean, they went into Detroit and won. I'm talking about the defense now. And the Ravens with Lamar Jackson yesterday only had managed 4 field goals early into the fourth quarter. So this is a tougher test than what we've seen here as of late, which we'll get into here in a little bit as well. As we put a bow on just what Caleb Williams did, though, I don't think we can. I mean, I guess we could overstate it a little bit, but it just seemed like yesterday was a big moment for him, Johns, to weather the storm, if you will. As
good,
the flurries were. I was watching the film this morning. It's actually something very soothing about the all-22 with the snow flurries just kind of coming down at the same time. It was football weather, and the Bears and Caleb, he had many reasons to get upset, shut down, give up, all those things. He didn't. He didn't at all. We didn't even see the frustration we saw at times with himself last week in Cincinnati. He just stayed kind of even-keeled, got in the huddle. They're down 2 scores late in the fourth quarter, got it done.
The toughness of Caleb Williams is such an underrated aspect of his game. It's mental toughness and the physical toughness to take a knee to the head. We could debate that later. the merits of that knee to the head that he took. Play on, like he took. It was one of the more physical games when it came to what he felt contact wise, and his physical toughness and the mental toughness that came with it. It is such an underrated part of his game. And I don't think it's discussed enough. And I think we saw some of that physical toughness, that mental toughness in the conditions against an aggressive defensive line, against a Giants defense that tried to get as many hits on him as possible. And he kept getting up and kept firing, kept scrambling, kept playing, and eventually led the Bears to a win. So I think that needs to be discussed more. Maybe this is part of it. We can make it a clip. We could share it. Here we go. Like, his toughness was a reason why they won against the Giants.
Yeah, without a doubt. So a lot to be excited, and we got more things to be excited about as well, and some dislikes too, obviously, in a game that by no means was a pretty win. So your likes and dislikes coming up next, but first we take our first time out.
Adam, our friends at Sunnyside Dispensary are here to elevate your football season, just like Caleb Williams elevated your Chicago Bears Sunday in the lakefront. Sunnyside is your home for judgment-free shopping. They have a crazy selection with over 100 different strands to choose from with easy online ordering and in-store pickup. Wherever you are in Illinois, Sunnyside has a location for you. They have spots as far south as Champaign and as far north as South Beloit. Stop in the nearest store for you. All you have to do is visit sunnyside.shop for bright buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Enter promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. That's HICHGO. For returning customers, use code CHGO50. Some exclusions apply. Sunnyside Dispensary, bright buys every day, only for 21 plus Illinois medical card holders.
And Bears fans, what's your favorite touchdown? We could pick them out of yesterday's game. I mean, how could you not like Caleb Williams tucking it and running it for the win yesterday? Well, for us here, it's always the next touchdown, because with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, every touchdown could bring you closer to cashing in, from first touchdown score to any time TD props or the thrill of live in-game betting. Every snap is loaded with opportunity. Your team hitting pay dirt pays out to you. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code Hoge and Jahns right now. That's code Hoge and Jahns for new customers to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets. That's right, $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Code Hoge and Jahns in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. The bet must win to receive bonus bets, which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer. All right, Johns, it is that time. Our likes and dislikes from the Bears' 24-20 win over the New York Giants.
I'll give you one. Yeah, I'll give you one right off the bat. I like that we have another week where we are discussing another block from Darnell Wright that's gone viral.
Yes, I saw this. And it was against the guy leading the league in sacks.
Like, at first glance, you think Brian Burns slipped or something. Like, how did he fall like that? But no, it's Darnell Wright with a little shove off the spin move. It's the play where Colson Loveland has that big reception over the middle off a scramble from Caleb Williams. But on the backside of the play, you have Brian Burns, as you said, leads the league in sacks against Darnell Wright one-on-one, tries a spin move on Wright, and Wright throws him to the ground, shoves him to the ground. And then he kind of like lords over him for a while. I like that.
It was like he like flicked him like a bug off his arm or something. Just like, get off.
So quick. Like,
yeah.
It was hard to notice on the broadcast. Like, what happened? You had to see different angles.
And Burns just went out like he just like, I don't know. It was cool. It was awesome. And it was a big play in the game. And Colson Loveland made a great catch on that. I highlighted that play on the postgame show yesterday.
Yeah.
Down 2 scores. It's 3rd and long. You're backed up. Got to have it moment. Caleb makes not a perfect throw, but good enough throw. And what he's been waiting for all games, somebody to help him out, make a great catch. Colson Loveland did that. And at that point, I hadn't even realized what Darnell Wright did on the play. Then I saw it later, and I was like, okay, that's awesome.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
But to your point on Colson Loveland, I think he had less trouble with the conditions than others on his team. No problem whatsoever.
Yes. What I liked was that they got Roma Dunze involved right away on the first play of the game. Schemed up throw, open, goes in motion across formation. Nobody goes with them, so you know he's going to have some cushion against zone coverage. Caleb goes right to him, pick up 9. I love that Roma Dunze had a joke after the game, too, about it, saying, "Thanks, Dad."
It's good. And laughed about it, too.
Yes. These are the types of, good vibes that you feel when you have won 6 out of 7 games. How about that for a like? Just think about it. Bears won 6 of 7. Now that's going to bring me to a dislike. Because I don't like that part of the narrative, and it is actually fair to bring up. I think the Bears can do something about this in the coming weeks. But Johns, I didn't add up the combined record of these teams as they've played the last 7 weeks, 7 games, because the bye week was in there. But none of them have a winning record right now. Cowboys, Raiders, Commanders. Now, Commanders had a winning record at the time, but they've completely fallen off the map. Saints, obviously. The Ravens, the Bengals, and the Giants. The one team you lost to in that whole group of 7 games was the Ravens, who are starting to turn their season around. They did not have Lamar Jackson in that game, though, as an added asterisk. So I just don't like that that's still sort of a lingering, all right, you got to prove it. But the truth is they do have to prove it. I mean, the schedule is going to get a lot harder here. And I think that starts this week against the Minnesota Vikings. You're 0-2 in the division. The Vikings are the worst of the 4 teams in the division. So you can't go 0-2 against the Minnesota Vikings to me this season and expect to make the playoffs.
No, that's fair. But like my response to this is so freaking what? It is so much better than the opposite. Like you just mentioned, the Washington Commanders. They have fallen apart since losing to the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
It's not so much who you're playing, but when you play them. That's part of the conversation, too. Like, the Bears caught the Bengals with Joe Flacco, who's on fire, not Jake Browning. They caught the Cowboys when they're lighting the world on fire offensively. Now they're lucky CeeDee Lamb wasn't in that game. But this... I understand that concern. They did lose to Tyler Huntley, and I critiqued and criticized the Bears after that loss. But so what? You play who's on your schedule. And my argument with this, it's always better than the opposite. You're beating teams that you should. That's what you're supposed to do. Sometimes it's been dramatic. Okay, a lot of times it's been dramatic. But it's better than the alternative. It's better than losing in dramatic fashion, which we've covered so many times and seen so many times. Like what they're doing should be celebrated, not overly analyzed and critiqued.
The other thing I would say too is, good teams in this league, they take care of business, and you're going to have games like yesterday. And if anybody watched our CHGO pregame show yesterday, you heard from me like pretty much right before kickoff. I think my prediction was 27-21. And once we talked to you out at the stadium and we saw what the conditions actually were and how cold it was and windy, I was like, I think there's a good chance the Giants end up covering. I don't care about what this looks like. Just find a way to win the game. So I can't be mad at it now because that's what they did. And it wasn't the prettiest of wins. And that's okay because in the NFL, these margins are so small. So the flip side of this is, I don't know. I've seen the Buffalo Bills now look awful against the Miami Dolphins and the Atlanta Falcons. Both teams are awful. So you've taken care of business through this stretch that you should be racking up wins. And the benefit of that now is, yes, there are 8 games left, and the schedule is going to be much harder. But really, you only – now, it's not a guarantee, but ideally, I think if you go 500, if you just find a way to win 4 of these last 8, you got a good shot to be in the playoffs. And I can find 4 wins. The Vikings, the Steelers. Rodgers has been awful the last few weeks. Okay. Get 1 against the Packers. That's 3. And then you got the Browns. That's 4. And I don't think it's out of the question that they can go in to San Francisco and beat the 49ers, who are definitely not a perfect team. And if it all comes down to week 18 against the Detroit Lions, that would be a hell of a matchup and much different than back in week 2 inside the cozy confines of Ford Field. So this is how you set yourself up for a playoff run and to, as Ben Johnson keeps saying over and over again, play your best football in December.
This is from Mace Dog. He has this in the comments. It's exactly what I was thinking. Don't apologize for winning. It's hard to win in this league. You just mentioned the Miami Dolphins taking it to the Buffalo Bills. The Carolina Panthers beat the Green Bay Packers by a field goal.
And then lost to the Saints at home.
Yes. The league's crazy. It's tough to get wins. In the Bears, they're still pretty young. They're a young team with a first-year head coach, with a quarterback learning a new system, rookies becoming key contributors, 4 new offensive linemen starting together. All sorts of injuries. Their best defensive player and their second best defensive player are on injured reserve. Celebrate this a little bit. In all seriousness, TJ Edwards, a difference maker in the run game. out again, broken hand and a hamstring injury. Like, take that into consideration as well. Like, they're finding ways to win games. To me, that should be celebrated, not overanalyzed.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, what do you got?
I like that we have a new angry run to add to a long list of angry runs this season. Did you see DeAndre Swift run over that linebacker for the first down? Like, I thought for sure he was stopped. The Bears are coming off the field, and he kept going.
Yeah. Now, he bounced outside, which basically means, okay, you're on your own now. You better go get this thing, and he did. And then his own cornerback then helped finish off the linebacker. That guy took 2 shots on the play, but that was a hell of a run from DeAndre Swift. That was a fun moment in the game. Picked up the first down. Definitely like that one too. Johnson, I like that we're not talking about special teams on a Monday morning.
I was waiting for that.
And I'm not going to say much more because we don't need to talk about it. Was it perfect? No. But was it better? Was it a problem? Cairo Santos made all his kicks that he was asked. Obviously, they didn't ask him to do as much. I don't know that Torrey Taylor had his best game, but it was.
All I could say that Torrey Taylor wasn't the punter who shanked one in the final minutes.
That's right.
It was the opposing punter.
You got to take advantage of those moments, though. And those things. So I always go back to how much special teams can change the momentum in a game. You know, even if you give up a touchdown, when the opponent misses the extra point, like that's a momentum swing. Even just like in your head, it's just like, oh well, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. We can get it back. Like, just sometimes, just those kicks within a game, it can swing the momentum quickly. Now, I think the momentum was already changing, but yeah, that punt was a big moment.
I think if we're going to talk about anything, it's that the weather conditions, the wind, the snow, the slickness of the day definitely was a factor. There were field goals like not attempted because of the weather conditions yesterday, and I think we all saw how much the weather was going to be a factor during pregame warmups when we saw all those misses and the concerns started happening. Like, of course, the Bears thought the same thing. So
hear me out. Let's just talk this out. Shouldn't that have been even more reason why Brian Dable should have gone for it at the half-yard line, 1-yard line, whatever that ball would have been spotted after the penalty? Because on one hand, I could see you being like, all right, well, 10 points with these conditions should be enough. On the other, because of the field goal limitations, that means the Bears would probably be going for touchdowns anyway.
Yeah.
So, because that ended up being a massive decision in the game. And the problem for Daboll now is, you know, I think he's got a legitimate defense to keep his job with what's happening with Jackson Dart. But if you're going to have moments like that game from a game management standpoint that don't work, then it's a problem.
You need wins. Like, we thought that Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace would have more time after Justin Fields. And there were some flashes that Justin Fields could be something early on. But the wins weren't there. Winning has to be part of development, has to be part of your resume if you're a coach like Brian Dable at this point, 4 years in.
Yeah, I was a little surprised. I'm assuming because it's already 10:30 in the morning in New York, they're not going to make a move this morning. But there sure was a lot of chatter this morning about a possible in-season firing. In fact, they don't have to scroll too far down my Twitter feed right now to get something on Daboll. Everybody's talking about it this morning. More people should be talking about how Caleb played.
Yeah.
I haven't had the TV on much this morning, but I don't know how much of that's been part of the conversation.
I have another like.
Sure.
I like that through 2 weeks, like, Austin Booker is more than noticeable when he's on the field.
Yeah.
He is getting better in the run game. I think we saw some of that. And man, does he fly around. That hit he had on Jackson Dart that eventually knocked him out of the game. Like, that is old school, fly to the football, everybody to the ball, violence. Everything coaches preach. And the way he plays, the hustle, the aggressiveness, the way he flies around, I think it's going to be a spark for the Bears defense as the games start to add up.
Do you know that Austin Booker, led all defensive linemen in snaps yesterday for the Chicago Bears by 9? He had 9 more snaps than Montez Sweat did.
We had another good game.
Yeah, it's been better. Grady Jarrett also up to 63% of the snaps, which was more than Dexter and Andrew Billings. I think that's a good sign for him, continuing to get more healthy, not on the injury report anymore. Have to watch the tape a little bit closer to see how effective he was. He didn't stand out as much to me just off the live copy, but that's still a good sign. So I like that. And then how can you not like what CJ Gardner-Johnson's giving this team right now? Here's the thing. What's funny about that, though. He deserved a game ball, and it's been a great pickup. I still felt like watching that game, though. I must have had 5 moments in the game, Johnsy, where I'm like, they missed Kyler Gordon. Isn't that kind of weird? Because the guy who's filling in for him was probably the best player on the defense yesterday. But it still was like, yeah. And maybe that's just as much they missed TJ Edwards at the same time. But we still got another week to figure this out. I'm going to be interested to see what they do when Kyler comes back. Because I don't know that you want to take CJ off the field.
They had a unique look where CJ Gardner-Johnson makes a tackle like deep in the secondary, where they played a cover 2 look, 2 deep safeties, and it's him and Kevin Byard back there. To the point where I'm like, where's Jaquan Brisker? But Brisker was on the field, so it was a different wrinkle. I like the creativity of Dennis Allen every single week, like using Chris Williams at defensive end to help in the run game. Like, I like that. I like that you're looking for solutions. I like that you're willing to be creative and try different things to be better defensively. And Dennis Allen is doing it every single week. And I thought this was another wrinkle too, where Brisker's closer to the line of scrimmage. Is CJ Gardner-Johnson. Like, I want to watch the film again to make sure my memory, my eyes were right on this. Like, he's into the 2 deep. He's the 2 deep safety with Kevin Byard. Like, I like that.
Yeah, well, he's a versatile player. It's what he's been his entire career. I think it says a lot that he could play 99% of the snaps in his second week with the team. Now, obviously, he has familiarity with this defense, but still, that's 72 plays. Joining a new team, coming right out, off your couch and playing that much, that shows that you have a pretty good understanding of what's going on, and the coaches can trust you.
He has fit in that locker room so well. Like, you just watch how the players interact with them, or how he interacts with like Kevin Byard, Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker. You would have thought that he's been here since day 1 of training camp. But no, less than a month, a couple weeks. He's connecting with his teammates. Like, you like to see that. Again, he's the pest you love having on your team, but hate to play against. And I think the Bears needed some of that spark, that energy, that relentless energy that pests in all sports supply every week in every game.
Yeah, it's credit to, I think Ryan Poles, Ben Johnson, and Dennis Allen all deserve credit, for that pickup. And we'll see what other little pickups are necessary. Teams keep adding. That's why the Eagles keep adding guys via trade. Obviously, the trade deadline passed, but you can still find ways to make additions during the season. Johnsy, anything else before we move on?
I thought I would have more like dislikes. I didn't like the dropped interception by Deshaun Wright Where
It was a nice play by Gunnar Olszewski.
yes,
There's
it
a
is,
peanut, offensive peanut punch.
but I feel like those opportunities for him, like to be in position to make plays, have come up a few times, and now he's on the other end. Like let's secure that. Like that was 3 points. There's an important 3 points it turned out to be. So that was amongst my dislikes. I do have a note here that I want to talk about what's happening in Detroit with Dan Campbell. So maybe we could get to that after.
Yeah, that was super interesting to learn yesterday as well, because it does seem relevant to the Chicago Bears. All right, we will take our second time out here. We still have your voicemails coming, and yes, I do think we should discuss that little Dan Campbell nugget, because it seems very relevant in the North, and the connection to Ben Johnson, of course, as well. But first,
whether you need snapbacks, truckers, fitteds, beanies, or tees, or that sweet Hoge Jahns hat that's on allchgo.com, Brandon Bills has you covered with performance and style. Looking for some gear to make your brand stand apart from the crowd? Brandon Bills has you covered with the best custom headwear. Start your order, and their dedicated team will help you create the exact custom apparel you need. But guess what? They have partnerships with over 40 colleges, including 10 in the Big Ten. It's Ohio State, Minnesota, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Maryland, Michigan State, Penn State, Purdue, and USC. Head to brandedbills.com. It's brandedbills.com and use code BBCHGO for 15% off your first order.
And excuse me, I've been battling something, Johnsy. I got to get through this.
You got it. I believe
your family like mine, where I just like everybody's been sick since August. I feel like.
Yep. The weather change doesn't help.
Yeah, the next round. Well, just another reason why we're all busy this time of year. Now we're dealing with illnesses and trying to get in all these shows to you. Everybody, whether you're just, everybody's busy. That's the bottom line. And sometimes it can be hard to find time to eat. I know I'm terrible with that. That's why I love Factor. And when I get done with this show and I got to run downtown to go do CHGO, when I get there, I'm going to be able to pop my Factor meal right into the microwave. And in 2 to 3 minutes, depending on what meal it is, that thing's going to be ready for me to go. And sometimes you do these meal plans and they don't taste that good. Factor, every meal I've had from Factor is legitimately good. And they're healthy as well for you. So go right now, check out Factor, eat smart at factormeals.com/CHGO50 off. Use that code CHGO50 off to get 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. That's CHGO50 off at factormeals.com for 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and a qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Thanks to Factor. Thanks to Branded Bills. As we power through another Monday morning victory edition of Hoge Jahns. We're not used to this. I don't know.
I think we're learning to expect the wild and dramatic,
yes.
Which is okay.
Well, it's a great thing. It's like, I was just getting to the point that I was like, they're actually going to lose this game, aren't they? But then they got the ball back and it was like, okay, if it's in Caleb's hands, I trust it. And I've been saying that for weeks now, Johns. That's like the ultimate test of a quarterback. Do you feel good when the ball's in his hands? Especially if it's the fourth quarter. And I felt that way with Caleb throughout whatever struggles he's had and some of the question marks and all that. Like when it's come down to it in the fourth quarter, I feel good when the ball is in his hands.
I like that we're talking about an offense that consistently produces explosive plays. Run game, pass game, the design of plays, players wide open, finding the right matchups. You have a head coach who is hunting for certain coverages. This is different. This is good. This is better. Good, better, best. Oh, almost did it. But this, like the Bears right now, I think are top 5, top 6 in yards per play in the league. To me, it's Caleb Williams' progress, but also Ben Johnson's play calling, which we're going to get to here in a little bit about the Dan Campbell thing in Detroit. But it's working. It's clicking. Something is happening offensively that here in Chicago we're not used to. And I think it's just getting started.
Yeah. one more thing that I like too, and it's always fun to turn on the run game film and see Cole Kmet block. And he's having a great year, especially from a run blocking standpoint. So on both rushing touchdowns in this game, Cole Kmet makes a key block. The first one on Kyle Monangai's block, I think it
right in the hole.
Yeah, just bam. Took the guy out. Super fun to watch. And then on the touchdown to win the game, Caleb Williams got to do a quick transit. He's running a route in the flat. Looks like he might be open, but Caleb sees the corner kind of closing. He says, I'm going to take this myself. And Cole recognizes it immediately, latches on, takes that guy, Tyler Nubin, all the way into the end zone, like deep into the end zone. Again, I said earlier with Darnell Wright, like flicking the bug off his shoulder, he treated Tyler Nubin like he was just a gnat. Like, okay, I got you. I'm taking you all the way in the end zone here, and Caleb goes in for the touchdown. That is just super fun to watch. Shout out to Cole Kmet.
I feel like these types of blocks that we're talking about, like even in that touchdown run by Monangai, like you have your starting guards reaching the second level. Not a walk-in touchdown, but the way he runs, he's going to score. That's how Kyle Monangai plays. I feel like these blocks, and this is maybe this is something we'll work on for all CHGO down the road here, but I feel like these blocks behind the scenes are celebrated a lot and shown a lot. I think we're getting some tidbits from Ben Johnson that they in fact are, but maybe we have a story here we should start working on here, Adam, in the next couple weeks.
I like it. And you know what? That's part of creating an identity. I'm going to keep going back to that joint practice against the Dolphins where they're whining about how physical the Bears are practicing. But those are your initial signs that this is who the Bears are going to be. Now, that doesn't mean that you can just snap your fingers and that's who you are from week one on. But we're seeing this get established throughout the regular season. The Bears are going to play a physical brand of football. You start to see blocks like that get celebrated, however they're being handled behind the scenes, and then it becomes a competition. Well, I want to be on the highlight reel. Love that. One more thing. I almost forgot this one. I think it was the play right before the pass to Loveland on third down with the Darnell Wright block we were talking about. I don't do this often, but credit to the referees. They initially threw a holding flag on Theo Benedette. That was not a hold. All he did was chop. I forget who was rushing. Was it Burns? It might have been on Burns. Whoever it was. He chopped down on his arms, and I could see how to the naked eye it looked like he dragged him down, but it's not actually what he did. He just basically won that chop. And they corrected it there on the field. That would have been a massive penalty. And the Bears have had a number of moments this season where the officials have made a bad call that goes against them. And they've been adding up. And that felt like it was going to be another one. I honestly don't know if they win that football game, Johns, if they don't correct themselves on that call, because that would have made that third down situation even harder. You're backed up in your own end even more, behind the chains. Now, the way Caleb played and the way they kept, pulling plays out, maybe they get it anyway. We don't know. But the referees do need to get a little credit there for correcting what was initially a bad flag.
Do you think they missed the Caleb Williams scramble slide taking in the knee to the head from the Giants linebacker call?
Well, yeah, because I don't understand. To me, the intent doesn't matter. I mean, he slides. He's a quarterback. He's giving himself up. He's protected. Whether you mean to knee the guy in the head or not, he's protected. And he got kneed in the head. That should be a penalty.
Because contact was made to the head.
To the head. Now, if it was to any part, if he kind of like trips over him or, the knee hits him somewhere else, but he was trying to avoid the contact. And I don't know. It might have been a little bit of a sly on purpose, needed the head, or he was just trying to avoid him and accidentally caught him. If it's any other part of the body, I wouldn't have cared. But it was right in the back of the head. And the whole point is player safety. And that's the point of those rules, John. When he slides down, when he gives himself up, you're supposed to get the hell away from him. Treat it like a poison punt where the ball's bouncing around. Get away from it. That's why you were supposed to be protecting these players so that you don't even have an accidental hit to the head. But it's a hit to the head.
I don't know if you noticed this, but the Giants' last play from scrimmage where the ball is free and, it's bouncing around and game's over. Bears are going to celebrate a victory. So Jaquan Brisker does what your coach should do, like jumps on the football, everybody eat the ball, protect the football just in case it's a fumble. You don't know. But as he's getting up, a Giants lineman jumps on him, head-to-head contact. And given his history, like he was down for like a few seconds. Now he eventually jumped up, and the Giants offensive lineman actually came up and it looked like he apologized in the moment because they're scrambling for the football. You get the deal, but I just hope it's not something we have to look out for down the road. Whether Ben Johnson talking today at 3 p.m. or on the injury report on Wednesday that there's another head injury for Jaquan Brisker.
Well, and he went to the blue tent earlier in the game, too, on that pass breakup in the end zone.
End zone, yeah.
And that's how these head injuries for him have gone, where they're reported the next day. That's what happened last year when he didn't get on the flight to London. So it's a fair concern. All right, let's get into the Dan Campbell stuff because, I got in the car. I always like to listen to the end of the, 3:00 games when the Bears play at noon when I'm get done with our post game, and I'm listening to the Lions game, and they're talking about how Dan Campbell's calling the plays, and I'm like, "Whoa, that was unexpected." What'd you make of all that?
Well, it was Dan Campbell who revealed that news. I think in his post game news conference after the Lions won big against the Commanders. My most initial reaction is like, wow, Ben Johnson must have been really valuable up there. Like he must have been really good at his job where you have a winning football team with one of the best rosters still in the league, making this type of change, and you have their head coach, a respected head coach in Dan Campbell, revealing this to everyone, like that a change needed to happen despite them having a winning record and them having some previous success this season. I don't know. It felt more like a Ben Johnson nugget than anything else.
So, yeah, because I went back and I watched. I watch a lot of the games, but whenever you have two NFC North teams playing each other, the Bears got a bunch of these games coming up. So I watched that Lions-Vikings game pretty closely last week, after the fact. And obviously the Vikings go into Ford Field and win. And there's been moments this season, obviously not when the Lions played the Bears, that it's felt like something was just off with the Lions offense. And it's been confusing because then they have weeks against the Bears where, they put up 52 points. But week 1 against the Packers felt that way. And then against the Vikings, it felt that way. Well, those are two divisional games. And the more I watched the Johns, where it was really felt for me that they missed Ben Johnson was in the run game. And my guess is Dan Campbell felt that same way. That Dan Campbell was like, we're slipping here in the run game, which is our identity. And sometimes that can be how play calls it comes down to play calls. I mean, a lot of times it's the blocking, of course, but the run game has as much of a momentum and chemistry to it to me that as a passing game. And those linemen start to get in a groove, and the running backs start to get in. That's why we talk about feeding the hot hand in the running game. And you have to get a hot hand, you got to call the plays, you got to stay with it. You got to build that throughout a football game. And I feel like, and obviously I'm not very close to this, I'm in Chicago, but just watching the film, I feel like that has been an issue at times for the Lions. And we're seeing the exact opposite with the Bears, meanwhile. At the same time with Ben Johnson, who they didn't have the run game early in the season. And then they start to put it together, and now they're leaning on it. And they're creating this kind of light version of Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery here, with that same similar 1-2 punch. And as the Bears are building this up here with Ben Johnson, the Lions are kind of losing it. And that's where my guess is Dan Campbell, who's always had ownership of that offense. Like, I don't know that he's gotten enough credit for that. With all the credit went to Ben Johnson, but Dan Campbell's been a huge part of it. So I think he just said, you know what? I've been here. I know these players. I know what this is supposed to look like. I'm taking the call sheet today, and we're running the damn football with all that grit and biting kneecaps and all that crap they do in Detroit. And it paid off because they looked great yesterday.
Teams take on the identity of their coaches. Offensive take on the identity of their play callers. And if there's one thing we've learned about Ben Johnson is that he's obsessed with his running game. It's not his passing game. He went into the bye week obsessed with fixing his rushing attack. And he did. Now, some of that's probably improved chemistry up front. DeAndre Swift staying healthy, Kalman guy feeling better as a pro, but it's also Ben Johnson, his play calling, and the identity that he wants to have offensively.
Yeah. Katie, can you put that quote back up? Stephen Nicholas, our CSGO producer, dropped it in the comments. So this was from Dan Campbell. He said, look, it was honest. It was he and I, and we were good. Campbell saying of the meeting that he had with John Morton, the offense coordinator. And like I told him, man, I need you, but I feel like this is something that I'm going to do. Hey, man, that's why you're the head coach. I mean, you got to make tough decisions like that. And typically you don't see play calling change hands for a winning team, when certainly did not seem like the sky was falling by any means, but they were coming off a tough home loss to the Vikings. And they're going back on the road. Good for him. We'll see how that continues to go. But yeah, I mean, I think the Lions deserve a decent amount of credit for adjusting as much as they have to not having Ben Johnson. But can we also acknowledge it's been an adjustment? They do miss him at least a little bit.
Yeah. Well, now they have a storyline in Detroit that's not going to go away.
Right. Yeah.
Like for the rest of the season. Even if they go back to Johnny Morton. One bad game, and now you're talking about Jared Goff calling plays or something like that. You know,
I can joking. See the storylines in Week 18, Johnsy. Lions versus the Bears. Ben Johnson on the other sideline. Hopefully the defense is playing better by then, so they're not giving up 52. All right. Should we get the voicemails on the way out?
Let's do it.
Your voicemails. As always, the phone number, save it, write it down, 224-725-3046, 224-725-3046 is the voicemail line. It's open to you before, during, and after every single Bears game, and our awesome producer, Katie Langen, takes the best of the voicemails, puts them all together. This is what it sounds like after the Bears improved to 6-3.
Hello?
Do you know who this is?
Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody!
The Hoge Jahns voicemail. The Hoge Jahns voicemail line.
Believe it or not, George isn't at home. Please leave a message at the beep.
Got any questions or comments about the Bears? Give the guys a call before, after, or even during the game.
Go Bears!
Hoge Jahns, John DeBevitt, Barbara Keith, from Soldiers Field.
during a beautiful, perfect picture at Sunday here. Boys, this is going to be once and for all determining that Chicago is a better city than New York. The Bears are going to beat the Giants by $600 million, and New York is much worse than Chicago by a degree of $600 million. Let's go, Chicago Bears. Let's take care of business here. 6-3. Let's go. Down.
Hey, this is Pastor Kevin. I gave myself a challenge this week to put Ben Johnson's Good, Better, Best in my sermon. I'll let you know later on how it goes. Go Bears.
Hell yeah, let's go, baby! Go Bears! That black box commit was so tough. Bear down.
What's up, Hoge Jahns? Second quarter here, 7-7. Just saw Dart get the old penalty there by Sewell. Hey, can we have a new obvious t-shirt? Just says Zebras Hate Bears. Let's go. Bear down.
Pastor Kevin again. I did it. I snuck it into my sermon. I don't know if anybody noticed, but here it is.
Good to have a promise. It's better to have a contract. Maybe it's best to have a covenant, and God will never let it rest until our good gets better and our better gets best.
Go Bears.
Well, that was a real garbage half. Offense can't catch the ball. Defense is off their man. What's going on here?
Hey guys, Jake from Colorado. Can one of these receivers or anyone make like a play for Caleb for once? It just blows my mind. Like, God forbid that someone makes a big catch for them.
This defense is pathetic.
For the love of everything, why is every receiver dropping the ball?
Hi, boys. It's the Mama Bear. Just a couple little observations here. I'm looking forward to the day when Caleb Williams gets the same respect that every other quarterback deserves in regards to late hits. Needs that respect from the rest. Also, I think OZ needs some stickum or something on his gloves. And lastly, does anybody else think that Brian Daboll looks kind of like an Ewok on the sidelines?
Hey Adams, long-time listener, first-time caller, Mark Scrody from Charleston. What is wrong with this franchise and what is wrong with us fans? Why would we think the Bears could beat a 2-7 team with no offensive weapons and a terrible defense? Bad penalties, atrocious drops from receivers and running backs. This team is proving once again they are very far away from winning anything significant. Adams, Mark Scrody again. I take back what I said. I love this team. Bear down.
Hey, Bears fans, B-Man here. The Bears are going to kill my dad. Can they just please blow someone out? Bear down!
It wasn't pretty, fellas. It was not pretty. But I'm telling you one thing right now. We won because of Caleb Williams.
At this rate, there aren't going to be any Bears fans left at the end of the season because we're all going to be in the ER suffering from heart attacks.
I can't watch a game and just relax and drink an RC. In fact, I just have to sit there and drink Miller Lights, and it just drives me crazy. But we still won on Bear Down.
What up, Hoge Jahns? Hello, Katie. Fourth quarter Caleb is a real thing. The Bears just won again because of their quarterback. Bring on Minnesota. Bear down. Let's go.
Okay, girls. Bears won.
Yay!
Why don't we introduce ourselves?
I'm Madison Go Bears. I'm Taylor Go Bears. I'm Bear.
And I'm their daddy. Bring it in, girls. Repeat after me. Good, better, best.
Good, better, best.
Never let it rest.
Never let it rest.
Till your good gets better. And your better gets best. Bears on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Bears! Why can't it be so easy?
Well, welcome to Bears fandom. It's not going to get any easier, probably. That's a good dad right there.
So good, better, best is now a part of homilies?
Yeah. Was that real?
I don't know.
Very much real.
But like, do we have confirmation that it was actually like in the service?
Like real?
Okay, Pastor Kevin, if you're listening, help us out.
Prove it.
Yeah. I'm not saying prove. I mean, I don't know. I don't need that.
That's cool though.
It was clearly a recording from
something else. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I'm not accusing a pastor of lying. Let me just be very clear.
Yeah. Hey, but we're too. We paid our dues at Catholic schools here.
Yeah, that's right. That's incredible if we're really sneaking that into the homilies now. I love it. Absolutely love it. Also, shout out to Mark Scrody, who we were the voicemails have confirmed the confirmation of his last name. If anybody was watching, CHGO
Pastor Kevin is in the comments.
Let's go, Pastor Kevin.
Let's go. Sorry for accusing you of lying.
Nobody accused him of lying. We just wanted confirmation.
I kind of did. Yeah. Now I feel bad. I'm sorry. That's awesome. That's great.
Now I'm like, what else can Pastor Kevin sneak into sermons on Sundays? Man, we need more ideas. Eli says if it wasn't, Pope Bob will certainly make it so.
Oh, man. To B-Man's point, yes, I've just come to expect that, like, we should know better now applies to crazy games for the Chicago Bears. Like, everybody just, oh, man, just go with it.
Iceberg says 2 Hail Marys for both of you. Fair enough.
Yeah, penance.
Kevin's open to ideas. He says, Pastor Kevin says, give me a challenge. I'm up for ideas.
Keep it going. Keep it going.
Gotta think of something. All right. Well, that's a fun show. Good Monday morning show.
There's a couple super chats if you want to read them real quick.
Yes. I was going to say we are far from done from coverage here on CHGO today. We have CHGO Bears coming up at 1:00 over on the CHGO channel, and tonight we also have Bears After Dark. Super chat from Chav, $2. Finally, a game where Caleb Williams was the best player on the field, and I think you can make that.
Absolutely.
Make that argument for sure. And I think we have one more super. Alex Amerline, $2. Something about Giants punters in Chicago.
I'm forgetting what's the reference.
It's the playoff game in the 80s. And
way back, yeah.
We gotta get the name. Basically they won a playoff game because of he whiffed on the punt. 1987 playoff game, Soldier Field, Sean Landetta. That's the name. He just completely whiffed on the punt, which was scooped up by the Bears, and they scored a touchdown off it. And because Carm is old, that's the first thing he yelled out in the moment when that shank happened yesterday. He was like, Sean Landetta.
Because Carm is old. Yeah. Carm gave Caleb Williams credit. Like, that's how well Caleb Williams played against the Giants, especially in the fourth quarter, where Carm described his it factor. That's something.
Yeah. Shout out to Jonathan Otten, too, who was Bears Fan of the Year, nominated for NFL Fan of the Year. He was at our tailgate yesterday. He was honored at Soldier Field on the field yesterday. And I feel bad, John. I missed you at the tailgate yesterday. Did not make it in the snowy conditions.
No. I'm not the most morning of people.
Yeah.
I will try to be there for the Steelers one. So, Jonathan, stop by if you can.
Yeah, I didn't sleep well after our game Saturday night, so I hit the old snooze button and was like, if I'm going to get through these I want to do a great pregame, a postgame show, and all the coverage. I'm like, I need a little bit more sleep. And yes, probably the snow had something to do with it, too. It's the cold and the wind. Speaking of that,
I got to bring a change of clothes.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I got to go brave the elements right now to get downtown. CSO Bears coming up at 1. Lance Briggs will be on with us for that show. Should be a great time. And also, please, on the way out, if you are watching right now on YouTube and you are not subscribed to this channel, do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button. It's completely free. Helps grow the channel. We're trying to grow this thing up as it continues to climb. We greatly appreciate the support. Hit that like button too. It's right there for you. Costs nothing. Takes 1 second, not even 1 second to do, and helps continue to push these episodes out farther and farther. So thank you as always for the support. Sign up to become a diehard. That does cost money, but you can get a great offer right now with code Johns, $36 for your first year. All of the coverage, 20% off all the events like the tailgates. and merch as well. The Hoge Jahns collection is up. It's going. Can't wait to get my hoodie. It's on the way.
Looks good.
Definitely hoodie season. A lot of new designs there for you as well. Check them out right now. The Hoge Jahns collection. All right. We'll be back Wednesday, our midweek episode. On to the Vikings for the second time this season. I'm excited. I'm excited for another NFC North game.
It's been a while.
Bears can take advantage. It's not a must win, but it's a gotta have it. How about that?
Yeah.
Can't go 0-2 against the Vikings. Can't go 0-3 in the NFC North. Gotta have it. Season's not over if you lose, but gotta have it. That's what I'm going to call it.
I feel like Ben Johnson's going to have the Bears with the right mindset for this one. It's going to be a whole build-up.
I like it. All right. Talk to you on Wednesday.
See ya.
We all silly like the mayor.